So the Shadow Home Secretary has faced criticism from all sides after saying that people who run B&Bs should have the right to refuse gay couples. Chris Grayling says that he does believe in gay rights, but Michael Black and his partner John Morgan, who were turned away from a B&B in Cambridgeshire, have called for him to be sacked.
Disbelief again.
Yes.
Really. It was nearly as bad as being turned away from the B&B in the first place.
You don't expect that sort of attitude from a public figure. You expect it from some anonymous bigot, maybe, but not from somebody in his position.
Well, joining me live in the studio is Mike Judge from the Christian Institute, who's speaking on behalf of the B&B owners who turned away Michael Black and John Morgan. Very good evening to you. Your client's presumably quite happy with the comments Chris Grayling has made.
I think that a lot of Christians welcome this debate that has been stirred up about the freedom of conscience. You know, not everybody does have the same view about sexual behaviour. And I think Christians feel a little bit sidelined, a little bit led to believe that we're not really allowed to express our views in public in the way that we'd wish to.
And yet you've seen all the furore which has emerged since these comments from Chris Grayling became public. Does that not indicate to you and to your clients who own that B&B that, in fact, they're completely out of touch with British opinion at the moment?
Well, whether they are out of touch or not, and actually I don't believe they are, we shouldn't be in the business in Britain, I think, of closing down businesses or forcing them out of public life because they might hold a belief that other people don't like. And I don't think they are out of touch because actually this Christian couple that own this B&B have had numerous emails from homosexuals themselves who say, actually, we don't want to impose our lifestyle on your lifestyle. We support the stand that you've made and we regret the fuss that's been caused over this.
The stand that they've made, though, is clearly against the law.
I don't think it is actually against the law. There are other laws that do protect liberty of conscience, and I think if this matter ends up in court, and we will be arguing those laws, and it'll be for the law courts to decide.
But as it stands, the Equality Act of 2007 says no one must be refused goods or services on the grounds of their sexuality.
Yes, but there are other laws. I mean, the Equality Act is not the only law of the land. There's the Human Rights Act that allows for freedom of religion and freedom of expression of that religion. And it's interesting that in the Equality Act, it does allow for some conscience if you're the owner of digs and you're renting rooms out in your digs. It does say that in that instance, in some cases, you may be able to refuse because it's your own home. And I think that indicates that the law understands the principle of when it's your own home, perhaps different standards apply.
Yeah, as it has been indicated by many politicians on the Labour side, well, in fact, on all three sides, really, but particularly on the Labour and Liberal Democrat side, as they've reacted to this today, they've said this B&B might be your client's home, but nobody forced them to turn it into commercial premises.
Yes, but, you know, are we really saying that people of faith and people of traditional beliefs can't enter into business? I mean, we understand that people can have opt-outs on conscience for all sorts of reasons. Abortion is legal in Britain and women are allowed to get an abortion up to 24 weeks, but we still allow doctors to opt out if they wish to. And schools have to provide religious assemblies for children in state schools, but atheist teachers can opt out if they want to, and the world doesn't fall apart because of that.
Nobody who ran a B&B could turn away, has been quoted today, no one could put a sign out the front saying no blacks, no Irish.
Absolutely. But that is not this couple's position. They said they would have been more than happy to give them single rooms. They weren't turning them away because they were gay. They were simply saying, look, we're Christians, we've got traditional beliefs about sexual ethics. It would go against our conscience to provide you with a double room. We're not turning you away because you're gay. We're simply saying we don't want to provide you with a double bed. It's a difference between what someone is and what someone does.
But you can't, I mean, it would be argued, wouldn't it, that you can't actually allow that level of discrimination, whether they believe it is morally justified or not, without opening the door to how things were 20 years ago and allowing other forms of discrimination back in?
Well, no, because we're actually reversing the discrimination against Christians. We're saying people who have a traditional view about sexual ethics, OK, you can believe that in your head, you can believe it in your church, but don't bring it into business, don't bring it into public life. And that, I think, is a discrimination against Christians. Look, the world's a big enough place to allow different people to have different views, I think.
Do your clients have any regrets over what they've done? Would they do it again?
They certainly would do it again. They regret the inconvenience that it it clearly did cause to John and Michael. They didn't realise when the booking was made that there were two same-sex couples. I think John and Michael, when they first went to the media about this, were very fair and very clear that there was no animosity in the conversation, it wasn't heated, there was no aggression. They feel offended by the decision that the Christian couple came to, but the Christian couple certainly stand by their beliefs, because at the end of the day, freedom of religion is not the freedom just to believe things in your head, it's got to be the freedom to be able to stand up for those beliefs as well.
Mike Judge, speaking on behalf of those B&B owners, thank you.